So I had a friend reach out to tell me that she doesn't love doing yoga online. And I totally get that. Her concern was that she's made a lot of progress by adding in yoga to her general fitness routine. So I'm going to give you a couple of things, and I'm hoping that I'll do them a little more regular, but a couple of things that you can do that will keep you working in some ranges of motion, but don't take a lot of time. Okay, so it's not yoga, yoga. So let's start any kind of seated shape. If you can sit on your heels, we'll sit on our heels. If you need to sit up on a block or sit cross-legged, please feel free. So I'm going to take my right arm forward. Okay. And what tends to happen, the reason I want to sit facing you this way is that I want you to make sure that your ribs aren't going to change with you. You could do this in a chair, you could do this standing as long as you have a clean surface behind you. So I'm going to take my left hand across and find my rib cage on the right hand side. And I'm just going to make sure that it is drawing towards my hip bones in front. So I'm not arching and moving my pelvis. Okay? So the left hand's going to help stabilize my ribs. I'm going to take my right arm up. Look for a little elevation, so that slight shrug of your shoulder. You can make a fist. You can keep your hand open, but I want you to run tension in your arm. You start off nice and light, but you can increase the amount of irritation or the amount of activity in the arm as you go. As my arm comes up, it eventually will stop. Cool. Then I'm going to take this idea of an X on my bicep and I'm going to turn it towards the floor. And as it turns towards the floor, I'm going to let my hand come down. I'm going to allow my scapula to do whatever it needs to do behind me. I'm not worried about it today. Okay. So right arm comes back. I'm leading with the baby finger. When it hits a stop, I try to turn that X of my bicep up as the arm comes up and around. Now the thing, you're going to keep going. The things to keep in mind are that often we turn our ribs with us, okay, because it's easier. Or we just circle the arm and we don't actually rotate the arm bone in its joint. So I really want to clean that up to the greatest degree that I can. Fight for maintaining height and allow the shoulder to kind of work around in these angles. Okay. Maybe run a little more tension. Work your rib cage. Keep your core in. And one more time. And I'm going to take that arm forward. I'm going to press my fingers up. I'm going to push the arm out. So I create a little bit of protraction in my scapula, and I'm going to pull the arm bone back. The arm stays straight. My wrist stays at the same height as where it started, ideally sort of aiming for that shoulder. Protraction, retraction of my scapula. Okay, so the whole shoulder blade is more than welcome to move, but I want to be able to move my arm in its joint a bit better in those circles. And then right arm comes down. Okay, right arm crosses the body. Left arm goes up towards the sky. I'll turn it this way. You make a little fist, lock your ribs down, keep your core engaged, elevate a little bit, you'll find a bit more space. And as the arm comes back, I want to rotate that X in my bicep towards the floor. And you can see I constantly want to move. Okay? You're trying not to let your chest follow your arm. Your back will want to help your shoulders. Can it not? Okay. And each time you're just noticing what feels a little sticky, what might be working really well. And every single day, this is a completely different thing for me. I'm not going to lie. You're just wanting to know. And the spots where you want to go more quickly, those are the guys that you actually want to slow down in. So being at home, you can definitely take your time. Let's do one more. That X in my bicep is what's trying to roll. So as I come back, I have internal rotation of my shoulder in case you're not sure. I'm letting this happen. I'm not really controlling it today. I actually am not very good at controlling it, but I'm not worried about it. Arm reaches forward, palm pushes out, fingers flex back. My wrist is working in that idea of extension. And then I'm going to press and pull and press and pull. So protract is that press, retract is the pull. My shoulder's not coming up towards my ears, so those are really common compensations. I just want to find some movement here. Good. And then turn the backs of the hands towards the floor. Give your fingers a little wiggle. Bring your hands down. Fingernails get more active. And then lift your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Lower belly starts to soften. Rib cage. Chest pulls forward. Shoulders draw back, and the chin can even elevate. So I have extension in my spine. And then tuck your tail under. Try to pull up through your lower belly, the front edges of your ribs. Spread between your shoulder blades, push the floor away, bringing your chin in towards your chest. I have a hard time doing that in talking, so just keep that in mind. Okay. Again, untuck your tail. And I would say the slower you go, the more interesting it is. So take your time on this. You can reverse, chin can come in, push the floor away, lift up the back edges of your shoulder blades, rib cage, belly button, tailbone tucks under. So that was in the opposite pattern. Leading from your tailbone's always a little bit easier. Tailbone tends to lift. Belly, ribs, shoulders start to squeeze together. Chest begins to push forward. Arms are still straight. Extension. Good. Come to neutral. Step your left foot forward. Take that right arm up towards the sky. Take that right hand behind your head. Squeeze your shoulder blades on the back line, then exhale, bring your left elbow in towards your right forearm. Open up, squeeze your shoulder blades, kind of lean back a little bit, but I'm not moving my hips. And then squeeze and rotate. Think about rounding through the upper back. And then as you lift up, think about arching through the upper back. So a little bit more focus on your thoracic movement or attention to that detail. One more time. And then left hand can come down. Right knee is just staying on the floor, but you can more than lift it up if you like. I'm going to take that left foot and I'm just going to start to move forward and back. Sorry, I'm not going to take my left foot anywhere. I'm just going to find the movement. And I'm going to allow my left knee to cross over my toes as much as I desire, keeping that heel down. So there's some ankle work here. I'm even going to explore angles. So I popped my right knee up off the floor because I like that more. It gives me more hip extension in my back leg, but you don't have to. And your hands could always be on blocks. If your hips are a little less cooperative, hands on blocks. And again, no sharp shooting pains. You want to look for kind of interesting sensations, but nothing that feels sharp or shooting. Finding an angle that you might enjoy. I'm going to keep my left knee out. So I'm going to find external rotation of my left hip. I'm going to bring my forearms down because I'm going to get off my wrists. Walk the left foot a little bit more so that it's slightly more in line with the knee today. Lift your toes up, turn the knee out. So external rotation of your left hip, push the baby toe edge of that left foot into the ground and energetically forward. My right knee is now resting on the floor. You're more than welcome to lift it, but wherever it is, make it strong and powerful if it's lifted. Okay, keep pushing through that left foot. Good, left foot down, and then rotate it out again, and bring it down, rotate it out. And then as it comes down, kind of think of it squeezing in towards the shoulder just for fun. Good, and then roll into the outer edge of your right hip, and we'll bring that left leg over top of the right. So some kind of seated shape. Left foot can also just be on the floor in front of you. Right leg can be a little more open. Now take that right arm, turn it over that left leg, grab a hold, lift our chest. So I'm pulling up with my left leg with my bicep, and I want to feel like I'm elevating my spine. And then as you exhale, give that just a little twist. Good. Unraveling the body. Just bring that left leg back towards the front edge of your space. Send that right leg back, and then we'll straighten out that left leg. Just give it a little bit more length into the hamstring. And then rebend the knee and straighten out the leg. And rebend the knee and straighten out the leg. Good, and then turn all the way around. Let's pivot back towards your right leg. Drop your left knee down on the floor. Left hand down, right arm behind your head. You can sit on the side of the temple as well. I'm pressing out of my left arm, so I don't want to sit in that left shoulder. I want to elevate out of it. Take a breath in. As you exhale, rotate, bringing that right elbow down towards your left forearm. And then back up, squeeze your shoulder blades. Exhale, round through that upper back. Think about pressing the floor away still. Inhale up, squeeze. Exhale in. Good, inhale up. Exhale in. And then right hand down. You're going to take that right leg on a bit of a journey. So you're just going to move, shift, allow the knee to travel over the toes. I keep my left knee down usually when I first start this off. Okay. The heel's going to stay down on the floor, so it's a bit more ankle work. And you're just examining the angles. Okay. Then when you find an angle that feels good for you, that's where we're going to linger. Feel free to drop down onto your forearms. Again, I went into that external rotation of my hips. So here we are on the right side. I want to do the same thing. I'm going to find enough space that I feel pretty comfortable. Not easy, just comfortable. Lift the toes, roll onto the baby toe edge of that right foot. So here's what often happens is that your foot does something like this. And that's a lot of stress on your ankle. If it's not intentional, I just want you to be aware of it. So I'm really turning my baby toe edge of that right foot out. And then as I push down, the center of my ankle is more in line with the center of my knee and into my hip joint. So that left leg is going to pop up off the floor for me today because I like that. I like that extension in my left hip. So as I push my right baby toe edge down, I'm also trying to push it forward. So outer edge of my right hip is my primary focus on this one. Notice what that upper back is doing. Did you sink into your shoulders? Are you able to push out of them? Good. And then maybe you're going to rotate in and rotate out. Your left knee can drop down to the floor for that if you like. Okay. So I'm exploring the hip moving and not my spine. And then left hip to the floor. I'm going to pull the leg in, bring my right leg. So again, it could have stayed here, more traditional yoga. It could be out here, which is more traditional bodies. Chest up. Left arm wraps around that right shin. I like to move the flesh of my abdomen out of the way, but then I think about pulling up more. So instead of rounding that back, I want that extension in my spine. And then I'm just taking a twist, not forcing the twist, not pushing with my hands so much as I'm just using my breath to move my spine. Good. And then take it back towards center. Take a moment, sit up nice and tall. And then just to end, drop your chin in towards your chest. You're going to tuck in as much as you can. So you're going to make a nice, beautiful double chin. It's really hard to do this and talk. So I'm pretty much going to cheat the whole time. So your chin comes in. And then I want to imagine that I'm going to scrape my collarbone as I drag my chin over to the right. Okay. Then, without my left shoulder following, I'm going to rotate my right ear down so my chin starts to go up. And then the head's going to go back, but the chin's going to try to go up. And I'm going to try to keep a sense of space in the back of my neck. As I come around, my left ear starts to find my left shoulder. Then I'm going to rotate my chin in and then scrape my collarbone as I bring it back to center. And now we'll reverse that, moving to the left. Scrape the collarbone, rotate earlobe down, chin starts to come up, around. Earlobe to shoulder on the right, chin rotates in, scrapes the collarbone, and center. Hope that helps.